A neighbor is accused of shooting a woman because her horse was getting fat. A cyclist fell into a ravine and survived for 3 days by drinking only wine. And a man wearing only a Speedo broke into a 911 center and assaulted the dispatchers. These are the weird stories on Tuesday for Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in existence. I have 3 bizarre stories from around the world. Here we go again. A neighbor shot a woman because, according to him, her horse was getting too fat. Can you guess what state this happened in? If you guessed Texas, ding, 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 you'd be correct, where everyone solves their problem with guns and where they really give a damn about horses. This particular Texas man is behind bars after he allegedly shot his neighbor last week because he thought her horse was getting, quote, too fat. Lee David Stroll, age 39, of Texas, proud to be an American. David's been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after allegedly opening fire on his neighbor. Yeah, so I blasted. I saw her horse. It wasn't looking like it was in good shape, so I started blasting. Yeah, I saw the horse. That poor thing looks like it's being fed on a diet of Twinkies, so I started blasting. I took one look at that mare and I thought to myself, needs to go on a diet, so I started blasting. I just can't stop starting blasting. It's what I do. It's what we do. It's Texas, baby. Pew, 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 pew. Proud to be an American. Now, this all occurred in a rural community of Texas, as you can imagine. I'm sure there's drugs involved as well. I'm looking at a photo of David. He looks like he doesn't turn down chemicals ever. Authorities say David is also wanted in Harris County on an unrelated aggravated assault of a family member warrant. Oh, I wonder what he assaulted his relative for. Was her hamster looking out of shape? Was her cat too fat? And he just couldn't help himself, had to start blasting. I started blasting. Now here's the play-by-play. Deputies with the Polk County Sheriff's Office responded to a call about a shooting and found a woman suffering from several gunshot wounds. Several. How about that? Well, I mean, at this point, he can't say he didn't try to kill her. Several gunshot wounds? The woman, thankfully, is still alive. She told the investigators her neighbor, David, shot her in the arm and possibly the back during a dispute over how she was feeding her horse. Turns out not only were they neighbors, but this woman kept her horse on Stoll's property with his permission. Well, that was your first mistake, lady. You got involved with Stroll. Not a guy you want to do business with, even if it's free. It's never free, because Stroll's involved, and he can't help himself. Pew, 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 pew. Can't help himself. This is one of those my way or the highway type of Texas people. The woman told the deputies that Stroll was upset that she continued to feed the horse, claiming he, quote, did not want the horse to get too fat. Yeah, I mean, sure, a fat, overweight, out-of-shape horse is very sad to look at, but you don't solve that by just blasting the owner. I mean, get a treadmill for the horse first. Try that out. Or ask her if you can take over the feeding duties. That's less work for her. Maybe she would agree to that. Or ask her to take the horse off your property. Or blast her. I suppose that's an option. Blast her. Now, the investigators say they found evidence linking Stroll to the shooting inside the residence. He was later discovered hiding in a wooden area near his home and taken into custody without incident. The victim has survived the shooting, thankfully. Authorities have not provided an update as to her condition. And no mention of the horse here. Doesn't even mention the most important part of the story. What does the horse weigh? I mean, what's the BMI of the horse? Aren't you curious to know how fat this horse is? Not that it justifies a blam, 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 but, I'm just curious. A cyclist fell into a ravine and survived 3 days by drinking wine. A French cyclist survived for 3 days on wine after a horrendous 130-foot fall into a ravine. He was kept alive by the bottles of red wine he had on him in his shopping bag. Tell me you're French without telling me you're French, dude. We have here a 77-year-old cyclist who is ultra-French. He missed a bend on his bicycle on his way home from the supermarket on a lonely road in the mountainous Cevennes region. Cevennes. Oh, I can't say this place. I'm sure it's beautiful, though. It's got a lot of mountains, and everybody drinks wine, apparently, but that's a lot of people in France, I think. It says, careening down a rocky slope, he slipped into the ravine near St. Julien-des-Points. He was unable to climb out, this 77-year-old man, and he tried to shout every time a car passed, but no one heard his cries. As the hours turned into days, he sustained himself by drinking the bottles of wine that he was taking home to his caravan. What about the baguettes? You had no baguettes, just the wine? I mean, a French guy can survive on wine. It's no problem. I've been there. 3 days on wine. I didn't have a bike at the time, nor did I even fall. It was just spring break, Now the article goes on to say, finally, after 3 days, passing road workers heard the man yelling and spotted the twisted frame of his bicycle in the ravine. According to the cyclist, he was going to spend the rest of the fall down in that peaceful ravine drinking wine, but he ran out of wine, and so that's why he cried for help. I'm just kidding. He was airlifted to the hospital. He had injuries, of course. He's 77 years old, and he fell down a 130-foot ravine. A doctor that provided services to the man said that he was very lucky. His survival was, quote, a miracle, given the cold and the rain, with almost nothing to eat or drink other than the wine. He is a really tough man. He fell into a stream several times trying to scramble up, so was at risk of hypothermia, but he had his wine, so he had a chance. Yeah, I heard a Frenchman can live up to 5 months on just wine and cigarettes. They're like a miracle people. Luckily, this badass 77-year-old cyclist ultimately escaped his predicament with only minor injuries from the fall and a little hypothermia. So it sounds like it wasn't so bad, living in that ravine all alone with your thoughts and some wine. I might try this weekend. Everything I need might be in a ravine, except football on Sunday. I need that. My article here says that this isn't the first time a person has endured harsh conditions with only a bottle of wine. In 2023, a woman went missing for 5 days in the Australian bushland. She was found alive after surviving for 5 days on simply lollipops and wine. The 48-year-old woman was finally located in some dense bushland after she took a wrong turn, ended on a dead-end road, and her car got stuck in the mud. Oh, yes, I remember this woman, lollipops and wine lady. Do you guys recall this story? Another just strong individual surviving for days on only candy and wine. It is possible. It's good to know. In case you happen to be cycling, bring some wine with you. You might fall off a cliff, and at least you have a chance with the wine. This should be an Olympic event, by the way, the fall into the ravine, survive on wine. I mean, the French would kick our ass in this event. I mean, may not as well even enter if the French are involved. The French can run marathons while smoking cigarettes. A man in a Speedo broke into a 911 center and assaulted the dispatchers. I'll take things you do in a Speedo for 1,000, Alex. This guy broke into a 911 center. Did the 911 operator have to call 911? Oh, imagine that. 911? Yes, a banana hammock is trying to break in and assault me. Cheryl, I'm right next to you. Oh, hey, what's up, Bernie? Yeah, there's a guy trying to break in a Speedo. Yep, turn to your left, you'll see him. He's got a hairy dad bod. It's very frightening. Let me get the details of this juicy story. Goffstown, New Hampshire. A very small town in New Hampshire. Not a lot happens there. I don't even know why you'd be wearing a Speedo in Goffstown, New Hampshire. It's quite chilly up there. I'm going to guess drugs. Do drugs. I think the real miracle here is that this isn't a Florida man. Now, this article begins by saying it's not often that 911 dispatchers need help from law enforcement, but that was the case for a small community in New Hampshire after a man broke into a sheriff's office. Oh, so the sheriff's office is also the 911 call center. Got it. Well, it's very small, so that makes sense. The video shows the terrifying moments inside the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Here's a quote from Sheriff Brian Newcomb. He says, "Well, it hasn't happened in my 24 years here ever, and hopefully it never happens again. What had happened was one of our dispatchers was coming in for work and was accosted by this man, Mr. Nickerson, when she was trying to get inside the building and work. He was wearing nothing but a Speedo and a yellow hat at the time." Yes, authorities claim that 50-year-old Corey Nickerson, wearing nothing but the Speedo and a hat, barged into the police station and tried to get from the vestibule into the dispatch center. During the struggle, another dispatcher came rushing in to help. Well, all right, before we judge, we need to know what the emergency was on Corey's behalf. Maybe he has a legitimate emergency that was so intense that he had to bypass the phone call situation. Or maybe he just didn't have his cell phone on him. Maybe he had his cell phone down in his little Speedo bulge, but it fell out when he was on his way to get help. Which begs the question, what was Corey's emergency? Did somebody steal his beach umbrella? Did he run out of baby oil? Perhaps somebody stole his Olympic medals. I know that's a weird one, but I associate Speedos with Olympic medals for some reason. We got another quote from our shocked sheriff who says, typically our dispatchers, they're here rendering services and assistance over the phone and radio for people calling 911 or needing emergency help, but on this day they found themselves needing assistance themselves right here. Authorities say that both the woman coming into work and the dispatcher who tried to help are now healing from both visible and invisible scars from that day. Well, they did sustain some serious bodily injury, and certainly there's emotional damage coming to work every day knowing this is where the act had happened. You know, in general, you expect to come to work and be safe, and that wasn't the case that day. This dangerous individual accosted them, and through their selfless actions, they helped each other, persevered, and were able to get him out the door. And my hat's off to them for pushing through what must have been a very traumatizing incident. I'm not even sure with my 23 years of experience that I'd even have the fortitude to keep on fighting after I got a long, hard look at a dad bulge in a Speedo. Okay, I made that last part up. He didn't say that last part. Nickerson pleaded not guilty to several charges, including assault, criminal threatening, and false imprisonment. We'll see what happens to him and his bulge on a future episode of Weird AF News. Just kidding. I'm done with him.
Welcome back.
Dad bulge, bump, bum. Sad bulge, dun, dun. Dad bulge, dun, dun. Talking about dad bulge, yeah. Hello, my friends and lovely listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Give yourself a hug for Jonesy today. Thanks for spending some time with me. I appreciate your time. That's why I kept this episode extremely brief, and I will do the same with the outro. Just want to thank everybody for reaching out to me. Appreciate that. I have an email here. You can send me stories if you think they're appropriate for the podcast. It's funnyjones@gmail.com. And my Instagram is @funnyjones as well. I got some stand-up comedy shows in the Los Angeles and Long Beach area this week. If you'd like to see me, I post all my shows on my Instagram, @funnyjones. If you would like to support the show because you're making tons of money in the tech boom stock market, and if that is so, please go to weirdafnews.com where you can buy me a coffee in a celebration to your winnings. You can also join the Patreon. You can click on the Patreon link there or go to patreon.com/weirdafnews and you can witness Jonesy get his butt kicked in the Weird AF News Patreon-only Fantasy Football League Season 2. Lots of fun. Anyways, have a great afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow. And good luck with your life, man.